Yeah, you saw it correctly, I was able to complete Tier 30 in Simulation Gates at the first day of their release. Moreover, I'm going to tell you that I was able to complete them with 3 different teams. In this video, we're going to talk specifically about the Wind team. This is Rudy Codex Video Games channel. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and let's begin. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to share a little bit with a spoiler of the other team. And yes, the next video is going to be exactly about this one team. But right now, about the Wind team, and in general about changes what we have received with Simulation Gates, what things matters, what's really important, and this is going to be really huge one for everyone, especially for free-to-play players, because of the first reward which we are going to receive after completing certain tiers which we didn't complete before. As you can see here, for example, the first clear reward, we're going to receive some chests, and rewards are really huge. I increased my essence stones by a lot. I received a lot of gold and a lot of other different stuff. So, what kind of changes we have here and what really matters? The main aspect is going to be actually about codes, which we are going to farm during our runs. I have a feeling that in compared to previous update, right now they're playing way more important role. And it's not only about codes, but some other stuff which I'm going to explain in a moment. First of all, we should start actually with effect amplification, and this is an important one. If you are a player who spent quite some time in Simulation Gates and received certain levels of skills here, you are going to receive some amount of points which you will be able to spend here. And basically I'm going to break it down real simple. So the first thing which you should aim for, actually to move to the next block you should complete all trees. So the start at the beginning doesn't really matter, but what matters further is actually this one tree with increase of elemental weakness damage, and also a really nice one with a back attack damage dealt increase. These two, they're playing quite a huge role, specifically regarding the Wind team, because our main DPS is going to be Mireille, and she, due to her skill, is able to get from behind of opponents pretty much often. So this one skill is going to give some additional damage output, and this one in general is really important because of the algorithm specifically of this week. So the boosting algorithm, it says that increases elemental weakness damage, and it means actually that hunters with wind and dark element during this week, they're going to deal the most amount of damage, and for them it's going to be way easier to complete higher tiers. A small disclaimer, I won't suggest you to go for the highest possible tiers with your tickets. Don't waste them. Use them at lower tiers where you're completely sure that you're going to beat it, and after that, in a test mode, go for higher tiers. And yeah, of course, that's pretty much obvious why we want to use during this week Wind and Dark. Also, there is a throwing algorithm which says that the whole damage is going to be decreased except for elemental one. This is pretty big deal, I should say, but I guess I found several tricks which will be helpful for you, and it's going to be not about elemental weaknesses, but about it later. And of course, first of all, we're going to start with the team builds, some suggestions and my experiences. After that, we are going to discuss specifically about codes and other stuff which you should claim during your runs. And also, we'll have a look at the map and I will provide you tips when at which stages you should go for maintenance, what you should aim for, when you have to take battles and so on. So yeah, let's start with the team first of all. That's pretty much obvious, because we're going to talk about the win team. Of course, it's going to be Hansumi, Goto and Mirei. So the advancements. The first thing which I should say and mention here, by my opinion, they are not that important, believe it or not. But yes, and I also was doing this not alone. With one of my friends, we were running simulation gates together, and he has less advancements for hunters. In total, he has maybe more or less the same amount of total power, maybe a little bit less, but overall, again, it's not really about the highest possible advancement, so A10 isn't mandatory, but it's important to have still some high levels in terms of advancements. And about the gears, that's pretty much straightforward. For Hansumi, it's 8 pieces Burning Blessing just to boost her total power as much as possible. For Goto, it's 4 pieces Grid Set and 4 pieces Outstanding Ability. It could be changed with another 4 pieces of Grid Set just to again push his total power, but in my opinion this set is working pretty nice with him. He deals quite some damage, not that huge, but still it's something and it helps quite a bit. For Mirei, it's 4 pieces Curse and 4 pieces Outstanding Ability. Yes, not an expert set. By my experience, it's not working really well, especially with such a huge gap in terms of total power, and Outstanding Ability shows more consistent results. For the course, all of them are pretty much maxed out. Just for these 2 characters to boost the total power, for Mirei they are actually matter, and for attack is the core, which is going to boost critical hit damage by 20% from using the ultimate skill. The other one I was using with additional MP because for me this is an important moment. I'm going to show you stats and explain everything in pretty much details. But yes, this one to gain some shields for her. This is also might help you to survive. We all know that Mirei is a glass cannon, so survivability is really important thing here, specifically for highest tiers, because most of the bosses they're going to literally one-shot you. And the last one core, but not the least, with MP consumption reduction and actually to have some MP recovery from ultimate skills. I believe this is also an important one, because in terms of mana consumption you will have to spend a lot of time during the battle, and Mirei is going to spend the most amount of time during the battle, so maintaining her mana is really important. And now we're going to talk specifically about stats for Mirei. This is the most important part here, and these are numbers which I have. So MP, it's 2800. I would even suggest maybe 3k. In my opinion, 2.8 is more than enough. Attack 35k, critical hit rate, critical hit damage, nothing that crazy. Defense penetration damage increase, you can see. And really important one is MP consumption reduction, and I have it 3,500. With such stats, with such level of mana, with such level of MP consumption reduction, I was able to actually maintain her mana without any issues at all. So her accessory set was working really well during the whole duration of any battles. Now about the codes, which really matter a lot, and specifically for the win team, because we need to build our strategy around strengths of our hunters. When we're going to talk about the win team, first, and actually one of the most important, is going to be, believe it or not, but wind elements codes. And the best one here is going to be this one, which calls wind damage, which is going to increase damage by, at legendary level, 45% for every wind hunter in the party. This is really important one, and I suggest you to aim for this code at the very beginning. This will carry you a lot, just trust me. The other really important one is going to be in firewall section, this one symbol with shield, which is going to decrease defense of opponents in 5 meters range by 30%, again at legendary level. Yes, it helps a lot, and it also increases damage by 45%. From this section, another one which might be helpful but not that mandatory, I should say, is going to be damage dealt, which is going to increase your damage by 25% and is going to stack up to 20 times. And probably the main and the most important part is going to be about boosting section. That's how it calls. On the first place, I'm going to possess this one code, ignore defense. At legendary, it's going to ignore 50% of target's defense from basic skills. This is also a huge one addition, which is going to help you deal way more damage in compared to what you will receive without this one. The other one is going to be elemental weakness damage. Again, it's going to be 50% more damage from basic skills. Elemental weakness damage, yeah, wind works really well. Another one is going to be critical hit effect, which is going to increase critical hit damage of users' basic skills by 180% at legendary level. The last really important one, but not the least, is going to be basic skill damage, which again is going to increase your damage output and is going to stack up to infinite. The last one, which is also a nice one but not really that important, is going to be effect upon entry, just duration. It's not really long, and at the highest possible level of simulation gates we're not going to deal a lot of damage. These are going to be really long battles, so this is not a really big deal. All the others, they don't matter. The core attacks, no. Ultimates, no. For the break, I should say as well, not really. Gotha is doing really well without these codes at all, and also again during break phase, majority of them they're going to last for not a long time, and this is not a huge impact. Now, not to mention about the collection Codex. Believe it or not, right now, by my opinion, this is also an important one. Really helps a lot. Before we were ignoring this part, right now I should say you should look after them. We are able to receive more crystals to purchase some items to boost our codes, and also buy additional items like collection Codex. So the most important one here is going to be actually a card of uncertainty, and it's going to work for assassins. Our Mirage is an assassin, and it's going to increase damage dealt by 30%, which is really huge. Another good one is going to be Dice of Chance, which is also going to work for assassins and increase critical hit damage by 50%. Good addition. And the last one, but not the least, is a perfect gamble. Yeah. So basically it has a certain chance to land additional damage equal to 1% of target's current HP after landing critical hit. There is also a 15% chance to reduce our own HP by 2% of our current HP, but I didn't see like a lot of problems according to this one. Anyways, if you're going to miss any hits from opponents, you will definitely die, you will be one-shotted, so it's going to take some time and practice from you, but I should say it's doable. Now a little bit about the map and the strategy which you should follow. So first of all, important moment, after each battle, after each stage, we're going to receive 100 crystals for some purchases. And right now, to upgrade codes, it takes you 200 crystals. So at the very beginning, my suggestion is to start. Again, we're talking about the test mode. That's important because you need to get some important codes from the very beginning, the ones which I mentioned before. So when we're starting, we have some amount of crystals and you will be able to re-roll some codes. My suggestion is to do re-rollings till the moment you're going to receive some really nice and good codes which are going to be helpful. It doesn't really matter which level of rarity. Will it be just simple rare ones or heroic or legendary? Anyways, if you see the necessary code, you should get it. If you're not able to receive it, just restart from the very beginning. You will save yourself a lot of time. And after the first stage, we're going to the second battle. I won't suggest you to go for episodes. They're kinda cool and interesting, and yeah, you have a chance to get some nice rewards, but in my opinion, it's not worth the risk. It's completely and purely gambling. So we're going to the battle, we're getting some more codes, and again, after that, you're going to receive 100 more crystals for some purchases. When you're going to receive them, you're going to system maintenance, and here I suggest you to look for some collections. Yes, if you see one of those which I mentioned before, it shouldn't be like the very beginning, the heroic one. It may be rare, like the gun, the gambling one thing, and the cube. Feel free to take them and also upgrade one code. After that is going to be a battle with Alicia, and yeah, it's kinda doable. There is no big deal, just a little bit of practice if you are going to receive some important and necessary codes. After that, we're going to the normal battle, again the other battle, and here before the boss we're going again to the maintenance to upgrade some more codes and maybe buy some collections. After that, the fight with Baek, again battle, again maintenance to finalize everything, maybe buy something from the collection or upgrade some final codes. And after that, the battle with SGW, so there is nothing special about it. It's going to take some time and practice. Actually, one more moment to mention here, and yeah, after Baek, maybe even consider yourself. I know I suggested you before not to go for episodes, but right now during this week, I won't really suggest you to go to this battle here, the stage 9. You will face Baruka, and holy shit, this motherfucker, my ass was on fire. Maybe it's really worth to not explode yourself and visit the episode part. Again, it's going to be all about random, but yeah, if you're ready for some pain and struggles, feel free to go for this battle. So for the preparational phase and explaining how it works right now, that's I believe pretty much it. I've tried to cover the most important parts, and right now I'm going to show you 3 main battles, like with Alicia, with Baek and with SJW, just to understand what to expect from them. I'm going to show you some progresses of mine during the run, like at what stages which codes I had and so on, for you to understand how it was exactly. And yeah, don't forget, at the end of this video there is going to be a spoiler about the next team, which I'm going to cover in the next video. For some of you, I believe for many of you, this is actually going to be an important and interesting one. So again, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Right now I'm going to show you battles, and just enjoy, have a good day or night, evening, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Take me in the smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just being and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but in the dead of the night, teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control.